Hello everybody, Tag Bishop here. I wanted to do a video tonight. I'm here at the gym. I'll explain later why I'm here. This is another example of how to get your CDLs without going to a high-priced CDL school. A man, I'm just going to call him Larry, sent me a private message, so I won't read the entire message. We've been going back and forth here for a couple of days. He was a pilot, flew jumbo jets, DC-10s, MD-11, all over the world with a cargo company. They came to an end when the international freight collapsed, the business collapsed. So he flew for another company. Did I say drive all ago? He flew for another company, and he was hauling troops and war supplies back and forth to the war. And since the war is over now, there's no longer a need for that. Now he wants to go on to greener pastures, or Larry. I'm really talking to Larry, I guess. You want to go on to greener pastures. You want to become a truck driver, and you have no experience and know nothing about the trucking business. But you say that you have money's no problem as far as buying a brand new truck, and you've always wanted to be a truck driver, and you've played around with equipment when you were younger on the farm and what have you. But you're running into a problem. You said you called Swift and Prime, and I think what I understood, you've hired a driver to help you get your, let's see. So you had to set up to do the driver training testing with a private contractor after you did all the CDL. So it sounds like you're taking my advice and you're getting a private contractor, somebody that owns their own truck, to carry you down to the DMV so you can do the pre-trip inspection and the driving road test or whatever is needed at the time. It's been a long time since I've done the road test. But you mentioned in there about a co-driver or a co-owner, and that's something you can look into. Now, you say you don't have any experience and nobody's going to hire you. But if you can buy your own truck, especially if you have the means to, sounds like you can pay cash for your truck, it takes a lot of pressure off making money the first year. When I went into business for myself, I bought a truck, and I was a little scared like you were. I did have the experience, but I didn't have the ownership of the truck, my first business, and I went in hauling shingles for this company called Barnes Transportation here, and I went in and I asked him, would he hire me as an owner-operator, and I was a little, held back because I didn't have any experience and I hadn't bought a truck yet. He's like, yeah, bring your truck in, we have to inspect your truck, make sure it passes our inspection, and if it's in good shape, we'll put you to work, just like that, And so then I went and bought the truck and came in. That's what happened. And I found a picture of my first truck, a little video made back in the 90s. I don't know exactly what year it was, but I'll put that up later. I find it interesting. You might not. But what you could do, you go in and check with the companies now to see if you can sign on and drive under their authority. That is the U.S. DOT number that you see on the side of the trucks, and under their name. Let's say, for example, just for a name, Brown Trucking in Florida, says that they'll get you loads, they'll hook you up. You can drive for them for a certain percentage. And so then the problem, if you can get that job set up, you find out what the percentage they'll pay the truck, and hopefully there's enough loads there for what I'm about to say. You can get your CDL learner's permit and hire a driver for your truck. Because right now the trucking industry, I've heard, is almost 100% turnover as far as drivers changing jobs. They're always unhappy. So if you could find one of these guys, make sure you get a good one. You're hiring somebody to drive your truck and to teach you how to drive. You're going to go in your truck with an experienced driver, and he's going to teach you how to drive. At the same time, he'll be your co-driver, you'll be his co-driver, and you're going to be making money. But you need to set it up where the business will pay for you and a co-driver. And like I said before, the industry right now is at nearly 100% turnover rate. So after a year or so, this man may move on, for whatever reason. You may not like him. You may fire him. He may just quit. But then that puts you in the position that you're at a year's experience now, and you can start hiring and helping younger drivers get into the business without going to a school. All they would have to do is come in with a Class A CDL learner's permit, and you could teach them how to drive and use them as a co-driver like many of these schools do. There is no qualification for trainer. You can be a trainer. If you have a CDL license, you can be a trainer. You wouldn't be you wouldn't be promoting a school. You would just hire a co-driver with a learner's permit. That is legal to do, and you teach him how, and then once he learns and he gets his CDLs, then you have a co-driver, or he can move on somewhere else, get a better paying job. You can, continue doing that process over and over. I mean, the sky's the limit with this thing. I mean, it's a great idea what you said, co-driver or co-owner. I don't think I would go co-owner. I would go co-driver. You be the boss and let them teach you how to drive. You'll still be the business decisions. That's what happened with me with my boss with the mail carrier. He was a mail contractor for about 30 years, and he always drove one of the straight trucks. He just wanted to do that. He had a beach cottage at the beach, so he would drive from my hometown to the beach every day delivering mail. I gave him a ride back and forth from here to his beach house, and he would spend the day at the beach and then come back with the mail from the beach. And then one day he got in the truck with me. He wanted me to teach him how to drive. I taught him how to drive, helped him with the CDLs. Now he has his Class A CDL license. So this is something that you can do. This isn't good for everybody, and you still have a learning curve. And when you sign on with these companies, you're not signing on for any period of time. You just go in there and you're going to haul their freight. They got stickers they'll put on the side of your truck and the DOT numbers, and you haul for them as long as it's financially feasible to do so. And I wouldn't limit myself to companies in Florida. Now, this is my thinking. I don't know anything about the business down there, but I do know that a lot of drivers go to Florida to haul freight or fruit or produce back from Florida, and there's a big problem down there, in my opinion, of waiting time and waiting for certain vegetables or oranges or whatever you have coming out to be picked. So if somebody comes in from Minnesota with a load into Florida, he may get laid over a couple of days waiting for the crops or the fruit or whatever to be harvested. And this way you would be backwards. You would be here at home waiting for the produce. You get it on your truck, and then you could haul maybe Minnesota or New York or Washington State, wherever, and get that freight and bring it back to Florida. Something like that. That would really kill two birds with one stone, and what layover time you had with you and your co-driver would be at home. And there again, you being the boss, you could send him over to get the freight loaded, and when he gets loaded, he picks you up, and you two co-drive to wherever you got to co-drive to. But it's a great idea, I think, and it's going to take some doing. And you need to learn a lot about the trucking business part of it, as far as mechanics. You need to have a friendly mechanic at home there. You need to know something about your tires. The main thing I think is the bookkeeping part of the trucking business. You got to have a good bookkeeper or be one yourself, because you have to make money with this truck. You don't have to haul loads. You have to make money. You have to know what it costs per mile to run your truck. You have to know all these things right to the penny. If it costs you $1.43 a mile, what you really need to know, this is what it costs me to run this truck. $1.43 a mile, well, there's your base right there. If somebody says, well, I pay you $1.60 a mile, you can't do it. You know what I mean? It's just that basic stuff. But learn all you can about the business. Talk to some drivers. Try to hire a driver before you buy the truck. Make sure you can get somebody to sign on with. Make sure this is a good driver. Check his background. Check his driving record and everything. And get you a good driver. And do a year with a co-driver. Let him teach you. And and this is with your CDL learner's permit. You can drive just like he can as long as he's in the truck. I do think he has to be in the driver's seat, or I don't think he can be in the sleeper berth, what I'm getting at. So, but that's something you just have to work out. There's ways around that too, but you can try that, There's no guarantees in that either, but that's just an out-of-the-box way of doing it. You said you called Prime and Swift. That, I would not do that. I would not in your position. Some people, especially younger guys, that's their only option to get in the truck this year. So that's great for them. But, it's not great for you, I don't think. I think if you go that route, you will hate it, especially when you get a trainer, because you get a trainer that you don't like, you don't pick, and I've heard some horror stories, and I don't think you're up for that. I wouldn't be. Maybe you are, but I wouldn't be. But try that if you want. Look into every aspect. Learn all you can about the prices of trucks, types of trucks, tires. Talk to mechanics in your area, servicing the truck. How much do they service the truck for? What prices, just everything. And later on, you can go under your own authority. I wouldn't do it to begin with. I would sign on with another company. And like I said, since you're not going to be fighting truck payments, I know it's still money, but it's nice when your truck's paid for, and if you have to leave it in the yard a couple of weeks. But if you have to make truck payments, you can't leave it. You feel you need to haul, and you get out here and you make some bad decisions, hauling some bad loads. And, but I hope that helped. I hope this video helped. I hope it wasn't too boring, too rambling. And good luck, but I mean, it's always going to be a learning curve. And with your background, it shouldn't be any problem. I think it's a good idea what you're speaking of doing. And if worse comes to worse, you just sell the truck. Probably get most of your money back. But these days and times, $100,000 in the bank is not bringing you much interest. $100,000 truck, making whatever you can make a year, that sounds like a good investment to me. And like I said, if it doesn't work out, or if something happens and you need to stay out and not work a week or two, your driver can carry on without you. The possibilities are endless. So, anyway, Tag Bishop.